All right, well, Amazon has found a way to make money from its ebook library, and it won't matter if readers use Kindle or Apple's iPad. For more on the story, we bring in Nick Ciarelli. He is a technology writer at the Daily Beast. He is the former publisher and editor-in-chief of the now-defunct Apple blog, Think Secret. Nick, thanks so much for joining us here. So Amazon and Barnes & Noble, Amazon has the Kindle, Barnes & Noble has the Nook. They both have their own e-readers. Is it capitulation that they are developing apps for Apple's iPad, or is it smart strategy?
Well, you know, it's kind of funny. I think a lot of people look at Amazon and Barnes & Noble and they see the iPad as a competitor to those companies. But I think in a lot of ways it's also...
Oh, because they do have competing products.
Exactly.
So that's a fair point.
But it's also an extraordinary opportunity for them. Both of those companies have had iPhone apps for some time. And what they've essentially done here is they've completely redesigned those apps for the iPad and its larger touchscreen. And when the iPad ships and when their apps are ready, they'll be in the App Store right alongside Apple's own ebook app.
Now, the product launch is April 3rd, so Amazon.com and Barnes & Noble, basically like any other company out there, right, trying to get their app together, get it on the iPad, and be ready.
That's exactly right. We've seen a lot of the same extraordinary enthusiasm for apps that we saw with the iPhone, and developers are rushing to get their apps ready for the April 3rd launch.
Now, one interesting thing that Apple seems to be doing behind the scenes, and you know the company well, I mean, you were blogging about Apple for years, had the most successful, arguably, blog on the company. Apple seems to be exploiting some of the tensions between, let's say, Amazon and book dealers over ebook pricing and things like that. How are they doing this to create problems for their rivals? Are they doing it on purpose?
Well, I don't know if they're doing it on purpose, but there's definitely been a bit of a rivalry that's we've seen play out between Apple and Amazon over the last few months. And there's really, at the same time, there's been this all-out war between Amazon and the major book publishing houses over how to price ebooks. And Apple has definitely exploited that as it's tried to get publishers to line up to support its own ebook store.
This kind of seems to show just the confluence of the tech space, meaning, you know, you can have a competing hardware product, but maybe software, you're going to try to make friends with another company. Do you think between the Kindle, the Nook, and the iPad, that each of these hardware products, the actual physical product, is just going to appeal to a different reader? We have one very senior editor here who is a Kindle addict because he reads 6 newspapers a day and feels like the Kindle lends itself easily to that. Do you see any differences in the technology that would attract a different kind of user?
That may be true, and by supporting all these different platforms and devices, it's really a smart strategy for Amazon and Barnes & Noble. I think what they're trying to do here is they really just want to sell as many books as they can. And even though they have their own e-reader devices, I don't think they really care whether you read their books on a Kindle or a phone or on a desktop computer or on an iPad.
From what you've seen of the iPad, and I know you said you had to place your pre-order like everybody else despite your connection to the company or past connection to the company, that seems maybe like a little bit better for somebody who wants to do gaming or watch content. Is the Kindle still better for somebody who just wants to read magazines and newspapers?
That may be true. The Kindle has a lot of benefits for really avid readers. It has, you know, extraordinarily long battery life, and the iPad, on the other hand, is a more multi-purpose device that can really do a range of things.
All right, Nick, thanks so much. Nick Ciarelli joining us there from the Daily Beast.